Made up of very small islands and low-lying coastal states, the Caribbean region is among the most vulnerable to climate change in the world. Climate change presents a significant threat to these countries and their viability. It is already affecting key economic sectors and socio-economic activity, the quality of life of people who live in the region, water availability, agriculture and food production, health, natural resources and ecosystem services, and tourism.
In terms of the effect and impact of climate change has been very drastic. Belize in general has two seasons. One is the dry season and one is the rainy season. And we have noticed in March this year, 2017, that we had drastic flooding in some of these rural communities in the southern part of the district. And it's surprising because March is the dry season here. And several farmers lose their crops. And we have noticed that the effect of climate change is here and we are living in it.
For more vulnerability to natural hazards are storm surge and flooding that are associated with hurricanes. We are also close to the Blue Mountain Wagwater fault lines, and that means that we could also be affected by seismic activity. In the community of Hellshire, the entire beach has been eroded, and so it increased the vulnerability, especially of the persons who use the coastal area for their livelihood, fisher folks.
Climate change was once a myth for me personally because we weren't seeing the changes or any effect of climate change until about, I would say 6 years ago, in terms of rapid erosion, dramatic climate changes in terms of the storms, hurricane effects, and the normal weather pattern that we are experiencing is not normal. And it opened our eyes.
Engaging the community in a meaningful way, ensuring that they understand their risk, ensuring that they understand what it is that makes them vulnerable and how it is that they can adapt based on the situation is very, very important.
For the Caribbean Development Bank, climate resilience is a critical priority. Through investments and partnerships, CDB is helping the region protect the development gains it has already achieved and to address the challenges and opportunities for climate action in a range of sectors. Sectors such as infrastructure, tourism, agriculture, and renewable energy and energy efficiency. In the remote Toledo district of Belize, where levels of poverty and indigence are higher than the national average, the bank is helping farmers learn climate-resilient agriculture techniques.
And the idea of agriculture is not to necessarily focus on agriculture. The idea is to have people be able to bounce back after a natural disaster.
If we do nothing, if we don't address these climate change that we're already living, the agriculture sector itself is going to lose. And in that area, we're working with Farmers Club. Each of these communities form groups. They are involved in crop production, vegetable production. They have we'll be dealing with greenhouses. Part of it is the livestock with local chicken, pigs, and sheep.
When we start this project, we are lack of experience. Then he opens our eyes how to do it, how to go about the project, so that we won't use no fertilizer from the shop or from this, so we are using organic.
Project that I think is essential for NEMO is the part that is going to be dealing with the food security, because that is very essential in a disaster management program as well.
CDB is supporting this work through the Community Disaster Risk Reduction Fund, a multi-donor partnership that aims to reduce the risks of natural disasters and support climate change adaptation efforts in communities across the Caribbean region. In addition to investing in improvements in farming, the fund will also rehabilitate emergency shelters, build drains, provide training on how to maintain them, and install a radio communication system. These are essentials as the district seeks to stave off more frequent and intense natural disasters, evidence of the realities of climate change. Underpinning the fund's work are education and training, helping residents better understand the challenge of climate change and how to tackle it.
And that area we're focusing on climate change, climate smart agriculture, solid waste management, and gender sensitization.
Well, our mandate is to improve the quality of lives. So with this project, it builds on that. And it helps these communities whereby our ministry is unable to do that by itself. And that is why it's important that we collaborate with these NGOs, other CBOs, to improve on that. And in doing that, it also is addressing and meeting the basic needs of these rural communities.
I applaud the efforts of Humana and CDB for seeing the importance of the project. And I very much like the structure that they have put in place in our project steering committee, where we have all these collaborating partners. We have education, we have rural development, we have CARD, we have agriculture, hydrology, Met Office, because there are times when we work in isolation, we may not be seeing how we impact someone else. And so by bringing all the entities together, it allows for better collaboration, and I think it ensures that the project is going to be successful. And that is something that I applaud both CDB and Humana for ensuring that the project has that structure in place.
In Jamaica, similar efforts are underway in the Trinityville area, located in the parish of St. Thomas. Through the Community Disaster Risk Reduction Fund, residents are learning how to better prepare for natural hazards.
At CDS, on behalf of our communities, in consultation with our partners, we submitted a project proposal to the Caribbean Development Bank, CDB, through their Community Disaster Risk Reduction Fund, CDRRF. The project focused on three main areas: improve land management and farming practices. The other area looked at retrofitting and renovation of a community center as a disaster shelter. The other component looks at public awareness, education and training in disaster risk management.
Academia is also part of the effort to bridge the knowledge and information gaps that exist when it comes to natural disasters. UTEC Jamaica, a local university, helped residents build a 3D model for disaster risks.
The university has opened its doors to community members, some who have never been to a university before, and upcoming aspirants. We had students from the Robert Lightburn High School.
It was very wonderful because we enjoy ourselves. We make models and learn to make different shapes.
We didn't really know how to make them. So going there, they teach us a lot.
And how to be creative. So we learn a lot of things from them.
Actually, they were very willing to learn, so we had like a class with them, teaching them how to do basic things. So they were very interested in doing that, and they all came out and they were all sitting in the lab and very hands-on, trying to figure out, how to do it, very interested to find out how we were able to translate the physical information into a digital form.
They were so helpful in identifying the rest of the community surrounding the problems, and then they were able to zone in on those specific features that we were able to capture on the model to help to show everybody else what is really going on in this community. Things like the gullies that were blocked up, that were causing these rivers to overflow their banks and so forth. And we were able to go down in some of these gullies and see close up some of these problems.
They were willing to share this experience with us and for us to really get the root of the problem so that there can be a solution for the betterment of themselves and their community.
The model is presently housed at Robert Lightburn High School, accessible to the community. So students, persons needing information about the Trinityville area itself can go in, look at the model, get information.
Not only did the community come alive, but our students came alive because they began to realize that what we are learning in school actually has a practical basis.
Farmers in the Trinityville area are also learning better land management techniques, which, for these communities, could be the difference between finding a path to better livelihoods or losing economic stability due to climate change impacts.
We were part of the team that trained farmers as it relates to barriers. We did training as to how to place the pineapple against the contour of the hill so they would reduce the movement of the water.
With the farmers, with at least 12 farmers, got some pineapple sucker where it can turn around to sustainable development and okay. Because those farmers can get income from off those pineapple suckers and the acres.
For the sucker, plant it and look at it grow lovely and nice and something. So we appreciate it. Yeah, we appreciate it.
And the investments being made by the fund are already bearing fruit.
Never before the matter of climate change ever been discussed so widely, integrating all the different sectors. There are challenges really, and so we also use these challenges as the lessons learned, which is part of the real big success, not just for us, but for the funders and the different stakeholders who are involved.
Farther north in the Caribbean, building resilience against the impacts of climate change is also in focus. In Île Vache, an offshore island located to the south of mainland Haiti, the vulnerability to natural hazards is clear.
Vous savez, Île Vache est une île de à peu près 46 km², donc c'est une petite île. Et c'est une île qui a une vocation touristique. C'est une île qui a une vocation touristique. Donc, avec les questions d'élévation du niveau de la mer, donc l'île Vache est exposée. Donc, il est important de prendre des mesures pour que l'île Vache soit rendue plus résiliente et au changement climatique.
Il y a un pile déboisement parce que cyclone Mathieu passé li déraciné plus fort plus bois que nous gagné sous île. Et deuxièmement, Mounio a fait coupe abusive de pieds bois que nous gagnons. Donc c'est raison qui montre que le projet est important.
Changement climatique là, il y a un pile problème nous tous sous île. Parce que raison de la mer vient plus chaud, ça fait poisson yo même tout yo reculer, il y a la plus canal pour capable une fraîcheur. Avec changement climatique là, c'est ça qui permet que poisson nous connaissons boire la mer, nous venons pas venir encore qu'on a assez plus dans fond.
The Building Capacity for Disaster Risk Management and Climate Resilience project was designed to help Île Vache plan for and manage the impacts of climate change. It's an effort being supported through the African Caribbean Pacific European Union CDB Natural Disaster Risk Management in CARIFORUM Countries program. When the project is completed, Île Vache will have a disaster risk management climate change adaptation plan, a climate resilient spatial plan, and an early warning system in place, putting it on a path to climate resilience.
C'est un projet pilote que ce dit projet doit être répliqué à travers d'autres îles. Nous citons l'île de la Gonâve, l'île de la Tortue, que nous devons nous préparer pour que ces îles-là soient aussi résilientes que l'île Vache.
Actuellement, il y a des projections qui sont tirées d'une étude réalisée par le monde. Donc, suivant ces projections, en 2071, la moitié de l'île Vache pourrait être submergée si on continue à faire des choses pareilles. Donc, on doit prendre des mesures pour protéger la population en conséquence. Donc, je souhaite voir une île Vache où la population est vraiment résiliente, où toutes les activités qui viennent sont vraiment résilientes.
The work being done through the program is complementing the government of Haiti's efforts to build a more climate-resilient country.
Il est enfin important de renforcer la résilience des écosystèmes naturels pour que les infrastructures sociales, systèmes d'approvisionnement en eau potable, les hôpitaux, les écoles, etc., et les infrastructures économiques telles que la pêche, l'agriculture soient résilients au risque du changement climatique et au risque géologique, tel que le tremblement de terre.
With climate action high on the international development agenda, the country has a message for global stakeholders.
Tout le gouvernement haïtien, c'est tout le peuple haïtien qui attend de toute la communauté internationale, en tant que pays très vulnérable face au changement climatique, le support nécessaire pour diminuer les effets que ce fléau peut apporter au pays.
Many of Haiti's regional neighbors are taking a similar stance. They know that although there are many partnerships being formed, investments being made, and progress being achieved on the road to climate resilience, there is still work to be done.
Ne pas agir d'une manière générale pour lutter contre le changement climatique a des conséquences désastreuses, catastrophiques pour tous les pays. Là, c'est de manière globale.
There are certain things that are happening for which we have no control, especially with storm surges and various things like that. But there are some things that we do have control over. For instance, the way we handle the hillside farming. And if we slash and burn, then there's going to be a cause and an effect. And so this is our responsibility as the Caribbean to recognize the things that we can change.
Public education is a major part of empowering our people in terms of being resilient to the vulnerabilities that they face in their community. And we are putting it also in the context of the global climate change issue as well, because we have seen the threats become more intense over the years. We have seen floods coming now at much higher levels as well, so we have to put it in that context, because what our people do within their environment is essential to the changes that they will face, and they have to understand the consequences of their role in their environment.
And so from a disaster risk management perspective, we speak about mitigation, how it is that we can alleviate or how it is that we can lessen the impact of these hazards, setting the framework for how it is that we can live with risk and how we can manage risk in a meaningful way.